Okay, this is Olivier Gruner. Olivier was an ex-soldier for the French Foreign Legion and did some special forces recon stuff. He's going to let you know a little bit about that and his background, also with the movie stuff. He's done tons and tons of action films. He's a helicopter pilot. He can fly jet planes, you name it, fast motorcycles, tricycles, you name it.
Actually, I was in Commando Marine, which is a bit different, like the Foreign Legion. It's kind of the equivalent of the Navy SEAL, but there's different type of Navy SEAL in Europe. It's a little bit different, okay? And my specialty was assaulting boats. And actually, what we were doing is we were in Somalia and Djibouti. We were based in Djibouti, and we had some, especially nowadays, so we trained to assault fishermen boats and actually tankers. Two different techniques. And remember, I did that in 78, 79. So now the technique even changes. But we assault those guys with the Zodiacs, small boats, so they can't be detected by radar. And it was very, 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 very intense, and it was really cool. And actually, one day I was in the south of France. I was on vacation, and they found me in the middle of nowhere. It's very funny because they track you down. I don't know how they do it, but they track you down. And they found me, and I was in the south of France, and they say, "Hey, Olivier, a gendarme came in, which is kind of the sheriff here, and he says, are you Olivier Gruner?" And I say, "Yes, sir." And I said, "Well, you got to go back to base right now." I said, "Okay, sir." Took my bag, right away, jumped in an airplane, flew back to the base, and then 24 hours later, we're in a helicopter. They heat us into a carrier, and from there we took the Zodiac and do assault a couple of boats. And I was very, very intense, but a lot of fun. And so that's my military background. In terms of for the movies, I studied actually in '89, and my first film was Angel Town, and the second one was Nemesis. And as soon as you do 3 films and you star in it, you start to have a market, especially in the foreign market. And then you start to make film after film after film. What's interesting about the life of let's call it, I don't like to say that word, but star, right? He goes up, so you reach the top, and then you go all the way down. Like nobody wants to see you anymore. And then you come back up. So it's a lot of stress sometimes because the money comes in only when you make the project. So that's why a lot of actors get into trouble. Me, what saved me actually is the martial arts, and what I did is on the side I learned how to fly helicopters, and I flew for. It took me a couple of years to do that, and I flew for the best company in the world. I flew for Blue Hawaiian. And I'm telling you, if you go to Hawaii, choose that company because they're awesome. And Maverick I did the Grand Canyon. I flew for Maverick. So, and then I flew for ABC. I did the news here in Los Angeles. That was interesting. I'm not going to say anything, but it was really cool though. A lot of chases and a lot of. Yeah, I saw dead people. That's the truth. And the news. Like I said, it's very interesting. They are really looking for something all the time. So, but it's very tricky. What's good about flying? It keeps you. You have to be very disciplined. You can't if you don't do the pre-flight of the helicopter. If you don't have like the same habit, you have to do it over and over. Go to the helicopter, make sure you do the pre-flight, make sure the paperwork is done, and when you do that like 4 or 5 times a day, sometimes it can be draining. But you have to do it. That will save your life. It's exactly from training. What I like to do is basics, basics, basics. A lot of guys, they want to do some really fancy moves, and actually what I like to do is go back to my basic. And I think that's very important. Basic, if you have great basics, you can start from there, and then you can go anywhere else. And I have also a video that I made in 2003. It's called The Pros. And actually NBC, I signed a contract in 2005 on NBC to do this. It's called The Pros, A Way of Life. It's behind the scene of pro athletes, and the first DVD was Pro Fighters. And now, in 2003, I was not really into MMA, which I am now. So the next one would be really focused on the MMA world. But this one is pretty cool. It teaches you all this, give you the insight on the stand-up.
Thank you.
Au revoir. Cheese. Thanks.